Hello, everyone. My name is Divya. We have my co-founder here, Heidi Wood, and we are here to revolutionize home ownership from transactions to transitions. How many of you are homeowners today? Pretty much everybody. Anybody bought any homes recently? So you've gone through this churn of you're evaluating, and especially in Bay Area, you get disclosures packet. Each disclosure packet has tons of PDFs and tons of pages, and you are evaluating two things. Obviously, you like the house because you like the spec of the house, it meets your criteria, but then beyond that, you want to know what you're inheriting, right? And distilling that clarity is not that simple, especially for a first-time homeowner. It's not that simple. And our project, our problem is to make sure we are able to help you through the transition, analyze properties that you're evaluating, and understand what you're inheriting in terms of what's done for the property till now and what to expect when you inherit. So before the sale, you get these tons of documents that you're analyzing. And you are expected to interpret hard information because you don't know every detail about what's happening in a house, unless you've owned a house or you're starting to own a house. Then you get into a transaction where you're working with transaction coordinator, you're negotiating your deal, you're figuring out all the expenses that you should account for, and those documents are now static. And how many of you have gone back to your disclosure packets and figured out, oh, this was informed to me, but I never acted upon it, right? Then home ownership starts. Now you have this house that you loved and you bought, and this is one of your biggest transactions probably, or your starting point. And now you are wondering, who fixed this? Damn, I mean, who do I reach out to? Now I have started this journey with zero knowledge about the history of the house and the people who operated on that house. And typically a small house has 20 plus assets, right? Start with minimum 20 plus assets, and each one has its own history and fixes and vendors that have operated in that house, but you have zero knowledge about it and you're starting scratch. This is not just your problem. The vendors are struggling to find leads today. They are paying a lot of money to figure out, where are my leads? How do I go and, how do I get my business done? You're struggling, they are struggling, and everybody starts from scratch because they had a history on that property, but now they lost your connection too. And the resale, everything starts from scratch again, and we start from zero history. So QuontOn here is, the impact of this problem is not just at homeowner level. Because of the millions of documents that every agent is distilling, it's well understood that disclosures breakdown happens, and 60% of the sellers don't disclose, not intentionally, but it's hard to keep every consolidated information about what's happened to your house, fixes that have happened, how do you tell everything? And so consolidation of information lacks, and that's translated to unintentional lawsuits, which is #1 lawsuit because of disclosure breakdowns in real estate industry. Knowledge of fragmentation, because homeowners, 95% of the homeowners have realized a problem after they've bought the house. So you're not alone. It's happening. No matter how much you dig deeper and understand, and with your expertise, with your realtor's expertise, this is still happening. Vendors obviously have lost the continuity, and so they start from scratch again with your property. And the life cycle resets at resale. So we are here to stitch this and bring a home ownership life cycle into a continuous thread. So how do we do this? QuontOn starts with automatic extraction of all your disclosure packets and creates a predictive intelligence at an asset level. So every asset is captured and it is internalized into its current state and predictable next steps that are needed on an ongoing basis. We do privacy safe vendor matching, because we collect the history of the vendors that have operated as part of your disclosure packets. And I'm sure everybody who just starts with a house is working with their agents to add new vendors into the portfolio. And so you have a database of all the vendors that you work with on a daily basis or on your property, accumulated and congregated in one place so that you can easily engage and automate that whole process of homeownership, maintenance. And then when you plan to sell your house, you are not scrambling through your Google Drive, emails, receipts that are like hard copies. It's all upload them easily with an email to your own self email alias address, and we will organize it for you. So your disclosure packets creation when you're starting another sale of your own property is also made seamless. And this whole software packet continues to the next owner for seamless transition. So what we are doing here is creating a most important, memorable moment, not just to stay as a transactional moment, but as a transitional moment. So you seamlessly enter and inherit and operate in your house. Our value chain is we start with brokerages and real estate agents. So typically a successful real estate agent is looking at 10 properties at the minimum and operating with minimum 3 clients or 3 people who are also looking at the same properties. And there are like 20 plus assets that they're answering to. Hey, this solar, when is the warranty ending? Hey, this roof, how much time do I have on this roof? Each property is different. Each property has a lot of unique things going on, and they are trying to kind of get back to you. Now, with our portfolio available at your fingertips, they will be on top of the information, and they will get back to you immediately, and decision making is made faster, reliable, and with clarity. Homeowners, obviously, you have this asset level information ongoing, available, and you can predict. We will send predictable, intelligent management requirements that will keep the value of your house, and you will be able to manage it seamlessly. Vendors get the continuity of business, and future, we are also going to have an ROI aspect of it because we are doing expense management for you. So you will know how is your investment doing, which will translate into property managers who are excited to use our product. How does it work? The agents create the property, upload all the documents, and we create a property dashboard that you and your agent start utilizing. You get a universal asset registry. This is how it will look, where every feature of the home is created and distilled down into what happens inside that asset. You get an actionable next steps where you know what are the safety concerns that you need to address immediately and what are the near-term, year-long, and ongoing maintenance that needs to be happening in this house. So this is the vendor list that gets created as part of your documents that got ingested. And you also have quotes, expenses planned for when you're doing on comparing your properties that you're inheriting. This is a huge market, and these are the TAM, SOM, SAM numbers. So we enter through disclosure packets conversion, but that's like a cheap entry so that we can scale quickly. But we make more monetization through vendor management, which is high intent, important. And this is happening already today. We are intersecting ourselves into the transactional moments. Market segmentation, we are tying the transaction to transition that's there. Each one has a different segment that these are the companies that are in, and QuontOn kind of ties them together. So we will have centralized data, AI insights, maintenance, vendor management, and transactional compliance. So yeah, as I said, this is the pricing monetization model where we start with $2 to $5 for conversion of the transaction into home insights, and then we do inspection triggered actions monetization. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Hope this is useful. Hope to see you all on my platform someday.
Thank you, Divya. We have time for one question. Anybody would like to go?
After the sale is done, the homeowner is the only person who gets access to the entire portfolio because you own the property. During the transitional moment, you will have the realtor and you collaborating, and then you are the owner to remove everybody else from the property and own the packet.